Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nataya and this is Nesthetics, where I talk about topics that I care about and you should care about too if you choose. Today I am talking about my initial reaction to the new Proud Family Louder and Prouder reboot on Disney+. So I will say that originally when I watched it the first time, I watched it twice before doing this video, the first 2 episodes. I was very underwhelmed. I was very disappointed because I feel like I was expecting more after waiting like a year from the announcement, hearing that this series was coming out, especially since the original Proud Family series was one of my favorites growing up. So, you know, I have been like anticipating this series for the last year or whatever, and I just felt very underwhelmed the first time I watched it. And I know by the time this video comes out, the 3rd episode will have came out, but in this video I'm only talking about the first 2 episodes that were released on the release date. So I watched it a second time before making this video, just so I could, you know, take it all in. And I guess like my opinions kind of changed, but at the end of the day I feel underwhelmed. But maybe because this is just the beginning of the season and they have a whole season to go, it may get better and my feelings may change. So this video is just my initial reaction. So in this video I am going to tell you all basically my likes and dislikes about the series so far, and I'm gonna start with my dislikes so that we can end this video on a positive note with my likes. So I have my little iPad here and I'm gonna be looking at my notes because I took notes while I was watching it. So I'm gonna be telling you all my likes and dislikes about the series so far. So one of my dislikes and critiques, I guess I can say, is about Dijonay, the character Dijonay. Now I understand that like this series, it presumably like they haven't really changed. Like all the characters, they all are personalities are pretty much the same. They just kind of glowed up overnight. Presumably, yeah, they are still the same age. Like Penny and her friends are 14 years old, so presumably they're in 8th grade because it doesn't seem like they're in high school, and 14-year-olds are in 8th grade, and that's like right before they go to high school. That's the age. So presumably they're in 8th grade, and I don't know, Dijonay, I don't know how I feel about her character. Like she was still like the loud friend. She still wasn't over Sticky, even though Sticky isn't in this series this season. She was still calling Sticky her man, and just like I'm not feeling Dijonay like that right now. And even in the first series, like we all know like Dijonay is not a good friend in general. So I'm not saying they had to change Dijonay or anything, but just like, I don't know, I just don't like how the dark-skinned black girl has to be the loud girl, and I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about Dijonay, and I know that I talked about Dijonay, my initial reactions to like her animation, and one of my most popular videos where I talk about colorism in the Proud Family. So I think I just don't know how I feel about her character overall, and we're gonna see throughout the series how I feel about Dijonay. But right now I'm just not feeling her character. And also like the new character KG, which I think is Maya's brother, who is also another new character who's played by Keke Palmer, and I'll get into her soon. But Dijonay started going after him now. Like that's the new guy that she's going after. I just don't understand why they had to make Dijonay so boy crazy. Like I feel like we don't have any more depth into Dijonay. I understand she's not the main character. Like Penny Proud is the main character. We have more depth into like Penny and how she's trying to fit in and how she's trying to be liked by everyone, but at the same time coming into her own. But with like Dijonay, like it just seems like she's just the loud, dark-skinned black girl who is boy crazy, and I don't like that Dijonay is known for that. And I just wish her character had more depth, and like I wish there was more to her character. Like I feel like there should be more to her character. I want to know more about Dijonay. I know in the original series, like, we knew that she had all those brothers and sisters. It just seems like we never really, the only time that we got to really know like more about Dijonay was that one episode of the Proud Family when they had that poetry contest and Penny was upset because Dijonay was better than her. Like, that was something that Dijonay was actually good at, and that's one time that we really got to see like Dijonay in her element and doing something other than just being loud or going after a boy. So I think my problem with like Dijonay and my critique is just that I want to see more from her, just like we see more from Penny and like who she is as a full person. Now let's get into Maya. Yes, Maya is in my dislikes because I don't know how I feel about her character yet. Like I said, she's voiced by Keke Palmer. I love Keke Palmer as a person, as an actress, but I don't know how I feel about Maya yet because like she seems like a stereotypical like woke person. And when I say stereotypical, it's like unrealistic. Like, it's cool that she's carrying around these books like Between the World and Me, which I feel like I have down here somewhere in my bookshelf. She's carrying around this book Between the World and Me. La Cienega was carrying around the book in the 3rd episode, but I'm not talking about the episode. But she's carrying around books like that. She's carrying around books like the Fire Next Time. I think I saw this book too. Like, her character, I feel like, is supposed to be somebody like me. Like, I feel like somebody like me is supposed to relate to her character. Somebody who reads a lot of these books, and I've read both of these books, and I have a ton of books on this bookshelf that I read that are by Black authors, both nonfiction and fiction. And like, I don't act like how she acts. Like, she just seems like she's like an inch away from, that means you're doing too much. That means you're doing the most, and like you trying to be too woke. So I feel like for her to be 14 years old, she's reading these books, which is a good thing. I'm not really feeling how they're portraying her character right now. I don't like how overly woke she is, especially with that whole panda situation. In the 1st episode, she was trying to free that panda whose voice is played by CeeLo Green. He didn't want to be freed, and like Penny was like, come on, like, why are you breaking into this zoo or whatever, the panda's cage, to like pull him out or try to break him free? Like, she's doing a little bit too much for me right now. But I will say that I like in the 2nd episode how she made a reference to the Boondocks, and she talked about she didn't talk about, but she mentioned Uncle Ruckus, and while she was like calling out Penny about being an influencer. But I like that part. So I will say that like this is not like a big dislike. It's like me being in the middle. Like, I don't necessarily like her character, but I don't really dislike her character. Or yeah, I don't like her character for se, but it's not like I really dislike her character. Like, there are some parts that I like about her, and there's some things that I dislike about her. So it's not like a strict dislike. It's just something that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about her yet. And I also don't like how in these most recent like TV series is that like the dark-skinned Black girl has to be like the woke one, or the one who, like, I feel like it represents that I feel like it represents how like in real life how like Black women and little Black girls are literally at the front lines of protest, and I feel like no Black girl should be at the front line of a protest. Like, even though like I'm not saying you can be whatever age to stand up for what you believe in, but I feel like as a 14-year-old Black girl like Maya, I could see her being like one of those little girls that I've seen in pictures, little Black girls in the front line of a protest. And it's like it's constantly given that narrative that like Black women are these superheroes and dark-skinned Black women are these superheroes, and they're the ones that are here to save our communities and fight for justice for the Black community. And Maya is kind of giving off those kind of vibes for me, and I'm not feeling that. I wish that like more shows would explore like black boys who are woke, or who are, I hate using the word woke, but black boys who are, you know, conscious, and they are trying to do stuff for the black community. One actor that comes to mind, even though like this show, I like this show, grownish, but I have my critiques about that show too. So the guy that plays Aaron on that show, the character Aaron, he's very like conscious, and he's always trying to do stuff for his community and holding protests. Like, I like seeing black guys, black actors, black characters in those positions, and I hate that we always get to see the dark-skinned black girl in this position. So it would have been cool if like her brother KG was her character and it was the opposite, instead of like Maya being the overly woke one. So yeah, I gotta warm up to her a little bit more in this series. And my last critique slash dislike is that the overall vibe of the series is different, and that I'll just need some time to get used to it, because like the original series, I can watch those episodes over and over again because it's classic. And maybe, you know, classic, something doesn't become classic overnight, of course, but those television episodes of the original Proud Family I can watch over and over, and I have watched over and over. But these episodes, I don't feel like I would want to be like, oh, I want to watch that episode of the Proud Family again. Like it just doesn't feel like that yet. And maybe over time, you know, things will change where I will feel like, oh yeah, I want to go watch that episode of the Proud Family Louder and Prouder, because that was a good episode. I remember that episode, it was funny. Like, these episodes aren't really that memorable to me. Like, I don't know if it's because I saw a lot of the Proud Family growing up that I remember a lot of episodes, but there's scenes in the original Proud Family series that I can remember that are funny and that are just memorable. And just, I don't know, this series doesn't feel it doesn't feel memorable for me yet. Like, the only reason why I watched the first 2 episodes twice is because I wanted to just get a full perspective before making this YouTube video. But honestly, if I had the choice to like watch it once or twice, I would just watch those 2 episodes once. So it'll take some adjusting for me, of course, to get used to the vibe of this series. So I will definitely come back either mid-series or at the end of this series, the first season, and let you all know my thoughts about the Proud Family and if they have changed or not. So those were my only critiques and dislikes, and my likes, and that list is actually a lot longer. So my likes, I have a lot of likes for this series, and even though the show overall is not like I really like it that much, it's just that I do have a lot more likes than I do dislikes and critiques. So the first thing is that the new animation is really cool, and of course the animation is different compared from 20 years ago when this original series was out in 2002, 2001, and it took me a little while to get adjusted to like the new animation. But like, if you watch the new Proud Family series and then watch an episode of the old Proud Family series after that episode, like it made me feel old. Like the animation felt like I was looking at something from the 90s or something. Like it just felt old. But I really like the new animation, even though it took me a second to get used to, and I just like how they updated the animation and the characters with the way that they look. Another thing that I like is that this show is, I feel like it's great for like the age range that Penny and her friends are in, like the 14-year-old range, because like growing up as a 14-year-old or a teenager now, or even a little younger, is way different from when I grew up and I was 13, 14 years old. At that time, like, social media was newer. It wasn't brand new, but it was newer, and it wasn't as popular as it is today when I was growing up. But now, like a 13, 14-year-old, they're gonna know social media. Like, they're gonna be on social media, and I like how this show is showing like the things that 14-year-olds are going through present day with trying to fit in, like, and trying to look like a social media influencer or be a social media influencer, because that's what they see other people doing, and that's what they see is popular, and that's what they see other people are flocking to. So I like how this show is showing like what a 14-year-old is going through, and I feel like if a 14-year-old were to watch this show, it would be very relatable to them. And I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I'm 23. When I was watching that show, I was in the younger age range. I feel like maybe the original series was more relatable to me because I was in a younger age range, closer to, you know, Penny and her friends. But now I'm not really in that age range anymore, so it's not as relatable to me, and maybe that changes my perspective on the show. But anyways, I like that it is relatable to 14-year-olds, and I feel like 14-year-olds and teenagers growing up now can learn a lot from this show. And it gives a positive message too, because we see like in the first episode, like Penny is trying to fit in, especially with Maya. She's trying to become friends with her. She wants to be liked by her. Penny wants to be liked by everybody because she is usually liked by everyone. That's what she says. So when Penny shows up and she tries to get the panda, to break the panda out of its cage and stuff like that with Maya, Penny comes to a realization, listening back to what her parents have told her in the past, like, you gotta be yourself and you gotta stick up for what you believe in, and you know, you can't change anybody's opinion about you. So I like how Penny is like coming into her own. She's realizing that I don't have to fit in with everybody, and if I'm not liked by everybody, then who cares? I have my own set of friends. If somebody don't want to be my friend, then okay, whatever. So I like that messaging, and I think that's a good message for 14-year-olds growing up today. Next, I like how the show has adjusted to the times. The show has so many pop culture references. Like, I just kept noting down like all the references as I was watching. I didn't even write all of them down because it was just so many. And I like how like Wizard Kelly in the first episode, he was running for mayor and he was talking about stimulus checks, and then Chloe and Halle's song Do It was playing when Penny was about to come down the stairs. And then like I feel like the show is like catching up for 20 years of pop culture references that they have missed, and I'm here for it. I like that they're doing all these pop culture references. So other ones was like throwing shade, sipping tea, calling each other sis, catfishing, what are those, squad, cancel culture, you being messy, that's cap, leaving people on red, have several seats. Like all of these like phrases that we've been using for the past 20 years, like in the Black community, this language that we've just created. I like how the Proud Family is incorporating that into the show and really keeping up with the times. Like I actually like that. And moving on, I like Michael's character a lot. He's actually my favorite character so far, and I think that he had the best glow up out of everyone. And the reason why I like Michael's character so much is because if you remember like the original Proud Family series, the series like finale, the episode ended with this episode about Michael being a sissy. And I think during that time, 2002, 2003, like I feel like it was odd to like say the word gay on television or talk about anything pertaining to gay people on television, because even the one of the producers of the Proud Family, he's also a producer, or was a producer on the show Moesha, which was in the 90s, and Moesha had a similar episode to the series finale episode of the Proud Family where there was a new guy that came to Moesha's school, and she like went on a date with him, and she kind of suspected that he was gay. They never used the term gay in the episode of Moesha, but they insinuated that he was gay. And I feel like in the sissy episode, even though it is a children's show, so they probably wouldn't have said the word gay anyways during that time. I feel like they were trying to get at that topic without specifically saying the words gay and trying to like call Michael gay. And like we still don't know to this day like what Michael's preferences are. We just see who he is and how he expresses himself, but people because he expressed himself in the original series the way he did, the way that the animation and the character, like he had like a shoulder, he had a cut-off shirt where it was like his shoulder was showing, just like the way that he dressed. He was in the cheerleading, stuff like that. So people would kind of assume that like Michael might be gay, you know, in the original series. So I like how in the new series Michael is just, he's got this whole new look going on. He's really expressing himself the way that he wants to. He's very confident in who he is as a person now, and I love that. Like, I love that for him, because like in that last episode of the original series, like people were making fun of him, and he really like got revenge on all those people that were coming after him. And you know what, I feel like now Michael would be like, I don't care about what y'all gotta say. Like, he would turn the other cheek and move on, because he's confident in his skin and he's proud of who he is. So I like Michael's character the most. Like, I really like his character, and I look forward to seeing more from Michael. And I like how we're getting to see more of Michael, and like I was saying for Dijonay earlier, I want to see how we're seeing Michael, like his glow up and more of him and what he's into. I want to see that for Dijonay too. I feel like Dijonay at least deserves that. Another thing I liked is that the Gross sisters, they say they aren't taking money anymore, but they're rapping now. So I thought that was cool that they changed a little bit with their glow up. They're no longer stealing from their classmates, but they've now turned their experience into a rap song. So I thought that was cool, seeing the Gross sisters glow up and change a little bit. And lastly, what I liked about the show, and what I've always liked about the Proud Family in general, the original series and this one, Louder and Prouder, I like how there's always adult references in the series. So like as I got older and started watching the Proud Family again, I understood references that I did not understand when I was younger, because I was not an adult. But now that I'm an adult watching the Proud Family, I remember there was a scene where like Trudy and Oscar were like, their clothes, they had swap clothes. Penny had walked in, she was like, what were y'all doing? And clearly they was, you know, having sex or something. Like they had just got done doing that. Like as an adult, I know like what is happening in this scene, but as a child you don't know like, why do they have on each other's clothes, you know, like, okay. So I like how there's always adult references, and how the Proud Family is it shows that it's for everyone. Like this television show is for everyone, all ages. Whether you're a teenager, you can relate to the themes in this show, or you're an adult, you can relate to like the references. And even in the first or second episode, I can't remember which one, but one of those, they made a Prince reference, and they also did like a Prince parody where Oscar was like dressed as Prince, like singing a song to the melody of one of the Prince songs. So I like how there's always adult references, which just shows that this show is for everyone, that anybody can watch this, any age range. So those were all of my likes, dislikes, and critiques about the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. I know that because I have more likes than dislikes, that it kind of seems like I really like the show, but I really don't. I don't like dislike the show. It's just that I'm honestly still not feeling the show like that, and I need to get adjusted to it a little bit more. But overall, I think it's cool. I don't think the show is terrible. With my critiques, I think, you know, some things could be better, and I hope to see more from Dijonay this season. But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching the episodes. I've already watched the 3rd episode. It was cool or whatever. So I'm gonna keep watching and keep tuning in every Wednesday, and by the end of the season I'm gonna come back to y'all with my thoughts on the series as a whole. So let me know your thoughts about the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder in the comment section. What do y'all think about the series? What do y'all like? What do y'all dislike? How does it compare to the original series? Do you like the original series better, or do you like this series better? And what are you looking forward to with this new series of the Proud Family? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.